thank you for being here. If you weren't here, it would just be me. And that's not fun. Life is fun with the boys. Tonight we sit as men. I know you all have stuff to do that you could have done, like check your emails or something. Or maybe play basketball, watch the Leaf game, whatever. But you decided to come here. You know why you decided to come here? Because your soul is alive. It's awake. And you're searching. And I want you to recognize that your soul brought you here. You are searching. I am a seeker. I want you to say it silently. I'm a seeker. And I'm looking for meaning. And close your eyes and just let go of the day. And feel your body on the chair. And let your breath start to soften. Like really, it says the Jews that were in Mitzrayim had a shortness of breath. Koitzer ruach. Umavoida kasha. You work hard. Every person in this room works hard. I don't care what you do. You work hard. Now it's time to let go of that work. Let go of the day. Let the breath soften. Expand your breath. Play with it a little bit. And allow the space to be completely yours. Safe, quiet, present. And I want you to say to yourself in your mind, Hineni, I'm here. I'm embracing the now. And begin to notice your body as you're doing that. So just scan your body, noticing the beat of your heart, maybe the tension that you hold in your body, the energy, the pulse of it, the human being. And as you're doing that, I want you to come back to your heart, bring attention to your chest. That's your heart space. That's where your heart lives. And breathe into it slowly. Let whatever's there just be there. Whatever you're feeling. And I want you to ask yourself gently, where is my animal soul showing up from in my life right now? And instead of you answering, let it answer. Where do you feel fear in your life? Where do you crave control? Where are you chasing pleasure, validation, or maybe escaping? And the beginning of the breakthrough happens when you let yourself see, with no shame, no judgments. This is my animal. And don't be afraid of your animal, because you're here to lead him. I want you to go even deeper. Shift real deep inward, deeper than the fear, deeper than the pleasure. Breathe again into the core of your being. Find the core. And wherever it is, put your hand on it. Focus all your attention. And ask yourself, who is breathing me right now? What part of me knows the truth? That's your godly soul. It knows why you're here. It's always been connected. Even when you were busy and you weren't listening, if you just slow everything down, your truth emerges. I want you to whisper inwards. Shamashana Satavi Taharahi. The soul you gave me is pure. I'm pure. Let yourself feel its presence, even if it's just for a moment. And now this conflict that exists inside between the animal and the divine part, feel the space between these two parts. One on one side, the animal that wants right now, and on the other side, the soul that sees forever. Don't try to fix. Just witness. Let each part speak and ask, what does my animal soul want right now? What is it afraid of? What is it protecting? And then ask, what does my godly soul want for me? Where is it trying to guide me? What is it asking me to trust right now? And let them meet. Let them coexist. It's not a war. It's called learning how to be in relationship. Place your hand gently on your chest and feel your own presence. And I want you to say quietly, I'm willing to work with what's here. And breathe deeply. And I'm willing to listen to both my animal and my soul. Because the holiness is in the struggle. In the struggle, you're not broken. You're becoming. Breathe. And ask yourself, what's one place in your life where you can begin to lead your animal instead of being led by it? Whether it be the snooze button in the morning, or maybe it's chasing dollars, or being lazy to go to the gym, not making it to Minion, going on the wrong websites. What's one place in your life that you're willing to start leading the animal in a different direction? And let an image or a certain word arise, whatever it is, it's yours. Maybe it's how you respond to stress, how you show up in relationships, how you use your time, what you eat, how you speak. And I want you to hold that intention, one area, one small step, 49 days, one at a time. Just take one right now, right here. And breathe into it. And for real, this is not a game, this is your life. What's that one area, one small step, 49 days today, now? Breathe into it. Deeper, fuller, more alive. Allow yourself to say, I'm willing to begin. When we count the days of Sphira, we're not just counting the days, we're making the days count. That craving that you're ashamed of might be the holiest part of who you are. We think our cravings are proof that we're broken. The reality is, Chassidus tells us, it's a proof that you're alive. Your soul's screaming for connection. But the animal gets there first. So it reaches for a cigarette, or the porn, or another scroll on your phone. Not because you're bad, but because you forgot where your desire is really trying to go. Because behind every addiction is the soul trying to come home. So Sfiras HaOmer is your invitation to come home, one day at a time. So we tune in, we look at our heart, and we work on it slowly, compassionately. The language of the heart is love, so do it with love. Okay, we will now continue our discussion of what full alignment looks like, gentlemen. Thank you for listening. You okay, buddy? Let's do ניגון. איזו ניגון אנחנו עושים עכשיו. So, we say like this. The inter-inclusion of the midas. All midas. How come this is not working? No midah exists in isolation. We know. The Rebbe now goes through what does it mean to be fully aligned in an area of midos. So the Rebbe takes us through the first of the midos, which is chesed, and he runs us through all the healthy expressions of chesed, and then the opposite. So that's where we're going right now. This is where you get to learn about the practical work. What does real alignment look like? Well, what does real connection look like? If you're growing up in your family and your parents were patient people, they knew how to give over love, receive love, but also had a healthy form of boundaries, you would grow up with siblings that you would get along with, and your parents would get along with you, and you just have, it'd all be hunky-dory. Everything would be nice, everything would be lovely, but unfortunately, nobody grew up like that. Nobody lives like that. But the healthy expression of me connecting to God, which is called chesed shebechesed, is that I love God and I love people who also love God and express their love for God. So people that do Torah and mitzvahs turn me on. That's basically what chesed shebechesed is. Chesed shebegvura, or gvura shebechesed, is love has to have discipline as well. Otherwise it's not real love. If I stand for everything, then I stand for nothing. Meaning God didn't create the world that it's just complete chaos, so you can walk around the streets naked. That's how it started, but it's not where we are right now. I know some people think we are, so they live that way. But the reality is love has its boundaries. It can only go so far. That's called gvura. And if you stand for something, when you narrow something, you actually get a stronger experience of it. For example, the famous analogy is you could play soccer on the top of a building and you're playing, but if you're playing at the top of a building, you're not going full out because you can fall off the top of a building. So if you have a cage that goes around the top of the building, you can play more full out than if there wasn't a cage. So Gvura actually allows a stronger expression of the love. Therefore, when somebody is going against God, I hate that someone's doing that. I feel pain from that. That's what Gvura is. I can't tolerate what's going on. Not in a way that I should lose myself and get angry, but it's hard for me to see that, which means my love goes so far because God said this is how to express and experience love with me, through holding back from sinning against me or doing something that would break our connection. So that's how Gvura manifests in Chesed in a healthy way. And then we have Tiferes, and Tiferes means harmony, which means Chaim. We just started. Tiferes is really going and taking it to the next level. You know, like a guy that loves having a nice esrog and everyone makes fun of him. Oh, how much do you spend on your esrog? Or they make the fun of the Chabad guy that wants the shmura matzah and like, why don't you just get machine made or the square matzah? Tiferes is beautifying your mitzvahs, that like you take, it's like really feeling a level of, I want to make this experience beautiful. I want to take it to the next level. Then we have Netzach, and Netzach is the idea of persevering even though things are tough. So for example, like I wake up one morning and I don't want to go to Minyan. The shul might not be coming to my house and dragging me there, or they might be calling me. I can deny their call, but no one's going to force me to go to shul. It's an internal battle. It's a battle between me and myself. So Netzach is the expression of, even when I don't feel the ability to do it, I go all in. I still do it. That's the idea of doing it. So when I'm feeling challenged by mitzvahs, I still do it. I go, and I move into it. And Hoid is the idea of facing the world, that when the world is coming against me and telling me, don't be so frum, I go against the pressures of the world. I put on tefillin with famous people or whatever. I go into the streets and I put on tefillin with people, and I'm expressing my love for God by facing the world, not in isolation anymore. It's not an internal battle, but Hoid is going out and putting it out to the world with humility. This is my mission, this is who I am, and it's facing the world. And Malchus is the actualized love, which is not just a feeling, but it's the action. It's how I think, speak, and act. That's what Malchus is. Malchus is the embodiment of the 6 previous spheres, which are, if I look at all those things and I ask myself, where am I at with my boundaries of love? And just tolerating what's going on in the world and so on and so forth. Where am I at with beautifying my mitzvahs? Where am I at with making sure that I'm always steadfast in my mission? And where am I at when I have to face the world? All these things, then the expression of that is called Malchus, which is royalty, which is my connection. Payal Mamish, what do I do? How do I think? How do I speak? How do I act? That's how love goes through a person in its most aligned way. Is I'm going through it and doing it in a way that is all about God. I'm in full alignment of my connection no matter what happens, and I'm going into it. And people are going to embody godliness because they realize that's their source of life. And I'm here as a channel to express the infinite light of God. So which leads to me wanting to be a part of that, and matching everything that I do is just bringing more God into my life. Does that make sense? That's the healthy expression of it. It makes sense? Need the window or the door open a little bit. It's like really hot in here. You guys not feeling that? The heat is turning up over here. Oh, I forgot something. How did I forget this? I forgot your side.
Yeah, I thought you did it on purpose.
Why did I do that? I just forgot your side. That's interesting. Wow, thank you. Okay. Once I'm facing the world, then there's something called Yesod. Yesod is, where does Yesod live in the body? In the bris. That's where Yesod lives. When we learn about Yesod, what do we learn? We say that Yosef was Yesod. Yosef embodied Yesod. Why did Yosef embody Yesod? Yesod is, what are you connected to? Yosef, no matter what he went through, Yosef. No, he's Yosef. Yosef is the embodiment of no matter what challenge he faced, he remained steadfast in who he was. He was called the tzaddik, Yosef a tzaddik. He's named Yosef the tzaddik. Why? Because he was faced with going into a pit, being banished from his, being betrayed by his brother, taken away from his father. He went into Potiphar's house, and then he was about to be seduced, and he overcame it. Overcame it. Straight up. How did he overcome it? What's the story? Does anyone know the story? Story is that Potiphar came to seduce him when her husband was not home. That one day she pretended to be sick. When everyone went out, and she went after him. And Yosef was in that vulnerable situation of such a beautiful woman being seduced, and he saw an image of his father. And he was able, by seeing the image of his father, to get away from this situation. What's the significance of seeing your father? Is his father was the embodiment of the father of the Jewish people. That's what he was. Mitasei Shlema. He had the full bed. He was pure. He had what it took. And since Yosef left his father, but before he left his father gave him so much attention. He learned with him, he praised him, he was making him the number one of his children, even though he wasn't the number one. But Yaakov knew he was going to go into a mission, and one day he would be in the hands of Potiphar, and he would have to remember his father. Why? Because Yesod is about what are you connected to, your iskashrus. When I'm connected to my father, when I'm connected to my strength, Ezel Gever, when I'm connected to being a man, and that's what Yosef was doing, because he saw his father as the ideal man, in a moment he was able to overcome his addiction, or not his addiction, it wasn't addiction, sorry, overcome his seduction, at the possibility of it. His ability to overcome it was what is he connected to, and we as men are all connected to our Yesod in many different ways. We're using it in all sorts of different types of experiences, but that controls us. We take the bris over there, but then we also take an oath over there. It's no coincidence. This is all happening around here because this is where all the magic happens. This is where we create a child. It's our deepest connected force, and that's why there's such a thing as sexual addiction. It's a very big thing. It's out in the world because specifically it's asking you to ask yourself, what are you connected to? Your sleep or your life? You understand? You probably had a hard week. Father and son, they're connected. So Yosef was able to overcome it. Now, what I've learned from the addiction world, I've been learning a lot about this in the last 2-3 years, is addiction is the search for spirituality, yes, but specifically when it comes to sexual addiction, it has a lot to do with the inability to stand on my own 2 feet and be a man, which has a lot to do with what is my masculinity connected to, because my inability to be a man depends on what I'm connected to, what's my role model for masculinity. So in a moment when I'm about to watch porn, let's say, the only way out of that is to be more strongly connected to the ideal man. Well, who gave that to me? If it wasn't my father, then who was it? What's my iskashrus? The Yosef HaTzadik was telling us, you want to be able to overcome porn? You want to be able to overcome your addictions to women? You got to have iskashrus. You have to be connected to the ideal man. Who's the ideal man in your life? If I don't have that, maybe my ideal man, maybe my father himself did the same thing. He watched porn. Then what's my path? Or maybe I just didn't respect my father, so I don't feel connected to him. But if I'm not connected to my father, now I gotta find a way to connect to my masculinity. And if I don't, it is so natural, I will be connected to something that keeps me from being a man, which is not being able to be committed to one woman and living in a fantasy and needing to escape the relationship that's in front of me. Because my ability to face the relationship that's in front of me depends on what my masculinity is connected to. So the Yosef HaTzadik was telling us the power in the Yesod is, what are you connected to? So in Chabad, we have this thing where we have what we call hiskashrus to the Rebbe. What does it mean, hiskashrus to the Rebbe? It means the Rebbe is the ideal man. The Rebbe is the masculine man that shows us the way, the power. He's the Yaakov Avinu, let's just say. And to get even more graphic, when you're having relations with hopefully your wife, at the climax, it says you're supposed to think of a tzaddik. You're supposed to picture the tzaddik. Why? Because your yesod is always connected to what you have hiskashrus to. It sounds weird, but is it a godly act or is it an animalistic act? God has to be brought into everything, every moment, and it has to be a spiritual experience when you have sex. It must. I'm sorry to be intense, but that's just the way it is. In order to embody sex as a valued principle and thing, I have to feel the sake. I have to bring the holiness, the kedusha into it. So people have a custom, including myself, to picture a tzaddik when you're at the climax. That's the way it works. And if you picture the tzaddik in Yosef situation, Yosef HaTzadik situation, then you won't have the climax. How about that? Pretty cool, no? There's the cure for all porn addictions, kind of.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, exactly. You just picture. You just see the picture.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Why is it a spiritual experience then?
Because spirituality is bringing godliness into every situation. So that could be the most animalistic thing, which could be creative and have a baby. But how do I bring godliness into that? Tell me.
What's spiritual about just picturing a rod or anything? I don't speak of spirituality. Maybe
I get it, because you're trying to wrap your head around it, which says this makes no sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I'm trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like
When you get to the point that you have a wife, you come call me, I'll explain it to you.
I think his question is not about being married.
I know.
I think his question is, what is a Rebbe?
like yeah.
If you understood what a Rebbe is, it's such a deep attachment that a chassid has with the Rebbe. It's a stronger attachment than a child has with a father or mother. You're so connected to the Rebbe. It's an attachment. The Rebbe is everything for you.
Yeah, listen.
But you shouldn't have a relationship like that with your Rebbe. Like,
Well,
it should be with your wife only.
Again, it's not about this or that. It's about bringing holiness to a situation. So it's about there's certain intentions and things that you do.
No, I'm saying in general, I have an attachment to the Rebbe, not sexual. There's an attachment, there's a skashus to the Rebbe. And because I have an attachment to the Rebbe, what Adam is saying is when I'm in a situation, whether I want to watch porn, if I think of the Rebbe in that moment, I'm not going to want to watch porn anymore.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay, the other one we'll talk about after. Let's. Yeah, no, it's a good question, but not for now. So now let's transition to the animal. So what does it mean? Because everything's created as has an equal and opposite force. So the healthy embodiment of chesed means that even in my deepest challenges, I can find God. Even when I feel like I'm so lost and I'm going on that website I can resist, I can find God, can be connected, and I can overcome all my temptations and have that full love and expression always for God. Now we go into the animal soul, which is the craving part of a person. It's not evil, it's just the craving part. Because the Nefesh Bahamas isn't evil, it's primal, it's strong. Its love for material things come from this survival instinct, like we said. It's comfort, it's gratification, it's safety. It only sees the physical because it can only see what's in front of it. It can't see up because the animal's not the head above the heart. It's all on one level, so it sees what's in front of it. But its love can be so intense that if anything blocks it, it's going to manifest into anger, it's going to manifest into hate, not because the person is inherently angry, but because something they love is being threatened. So here's what happens. And usually behind every anger is love. Behind all anger, there's usually a love. That's one of the most transformative things you can think about in your life. Anger, hate, negativity, they're usually expressions of pain or loss, some unmet need, some blocked desire. Person lashes out not because they're cruel, but because they're disconnected from something that they feel is vital to them. So let's go through the 7 aspects of chesed. And let's say chesed shebechesed for the animal on the other side is a craving for an attachment. So I crave this attachment. So let's say I crave my phone. People, they like, I literally was at a bar mitzvah the other night. I was sitting at a table of the head honchos, whoever that was. And I purposely wanted to be present, so I put my phone away. I was like pretty happy about me putting my phone away. But everyone at my table is on their phones. Like just sitting there on their phones. And this one guy sees, like, goes into his WhatsApp message, he checks, scrolls, no messages, goes out of it. 5 minutes later, he goes back to his WhatsApp, checks, WhatsApp, he's going at it. And I'm like, okay. So what's Gvur Shebechesed? Now someone's going to tell you, hey, why are you on your phone so much? You say, why am I on my phone so much? You're always on your phone. You start defending yourself. You start getting angry about it. If someone starts to attack your addiction, your craving, or put you down about it, you don't take it. So someone says, you're on your phone too much, and you're like, leave me alone, like, get out of my face. Why? Because they're trying to take away what you're attached to, your physical craving. And then eventually what happens is you have pride in your physical attachments. So that's called Tiferes. Tiferes is you show it off. Look at the newest phone that I got. Look at this, look at these features, look what I could do. I could run my whole business from my phone. I use my phone as a teacher to my kids. I use my phone to sing lullabies to my wife when she goes to bed. I look at my phone, look how amazing it is. And then you feel like, oh, I've been on my phone too much. And that's where Netzach comes in. He says, oh, I've been on my phone too much, but I must overcome that good talk, and I have to be on my phone even more, and I double down on my phone. Like you're telling yourself, I watched so much YouTube today. You're like, okay, just one more video. And you overcome yourself and what you know, and you keep the craving alive. And then someone comes to you, that's called Netzach, and then Hoyd is someone comes to you and says, you, such a holy guy, such a rabbi, such a this, such an impressive person, you are the son of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, you should be involved in your phone? Such a dignified person. And you're guarded even more. And you say, go jump in a lake or kiss my tuchus, whatever you say. And then when you get totally lost in it, it gets into your yesod. What's your yesod? Yesod is all your drive. Like this thing drives you. It drives you. So it becomes what I'm having iskashros to. And I feel that I'm so connected to this. Now, if I'm so connected to my phone, eventually I'm going to start believing I'm an addict. And can't get off my phone. I'm just giving phone as an example. You can fill in the blank with whatever you want. But I lose myself and I go into full addiction. I can't imagine my life off this. You know, the guy that smokes a joint and then he just justifies, okay, I love the joint. I love it even more. I love it even more. You know, it could be the cell phone. It could be that, like, how many people sleep with a cell phone next to their bed? And your phone is within 2 feet of you almost 24 hours a day. That's insane. Like, you can't imagine yourself without a phone. There's a certain iskashrus to it. I'm so connected to it. I'm running to take my phone off so I can just check my phone. Like, what are we doing over here? Like, I have so much of iskashrus to this. Like, what's going to happen if I check my phone? I'm going to see the latest stock price. I'm going to see what's going on in the world. I'm going to see if someone messaged me so I can feel good about myself. Or I'm going to see whatever, the latest Instagram posts, whatever it's going to, like, I'm so connected to this thing that it's like everything of my life. That's called iskashrus. And the real iskashrus is that I should feel that I'm connected to it. This phone is a representation of how close I should be to Hashem at all times, at all moments. It is showing me on the opposite side of how much I'm supposed to be addicted to Hashem. You learn from your addictions and your attachments. If you don't want to call them addictions, you can call them attachments, from what the real relationship is all about. So what am I attached to? And that depends on my yesod. It depends on my iskashrus, what I spend my time doing and taking information from and learning. And, you know, where do I take my information from? Where do I take the fuel of my existence from? Where does that come from for everyone? Like, can you ask yourself, honestly, where does the fuel of my existence come from? Every single day, what are you doing with your time? So that addiction, this that I want to feel connected is actually me wanting to feel connected to God. But it's misguided. If every single temptation in this world is a misguided experience to find my way back to Hashem, then I have to see what I'm doing with this. I have to be honest. I have to look at it. I have to say, oh, thank you for teaching me about God. But what I really want is full embodiment of being able to feel connected without needing the thing to connect to. Because it's inside me. It is called presence. It's called my godly mission, my soul. God is even closer than within 2 feet. He's right here. So if I don't feel Him, I'm going to get deeper and more connected to my attachments. And the attachments that I feel the most comfort in. But here's the thing. After you check your phone for about an hour, or you look at your screen time of how much time you spent on your phone, you feel like crap afterwards. Because in the end of the day, you know that that's not what you really need. That's not what you really want. So I got to spend more time allowing myself to see myself. How do I see myself? The way I see myself is humility. The first step of all healing the heart is just being humble to see, okay, I'm struggling. I really am connected to my phone too much. I really am on nasty websites or whatever. I really do spend too much time looking at random reels and posts and this and that. I really do spend too much time doing nothing, sleeping in. That's the first step. It's not about judging yourself, because that's what they did growing up. They judged you for doing those things. They said, you're a bum, you're a loser, what are you doing with your life? Wake up, make a change. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about just start to see. That's the perspective shift. Comes Lag BaOmer, which is coming. And Lag BaOmer teaches us a very powerful lesson. What does Lag BaOmer teach us? That's Nachman's 28th wedding anniversary this year on Lag BaOmer. Koyach, power. There's a power of being married for 28 years. So we're going to experience Lag BaOmer. What's the sphera of Lag BaOmer? Hoid Shabahid. What's Hoid Shabahid? Hoid Shabahid is the ultimate humility. What's the ultimate humility? The ultimate humility is being able to see the truth of life and humbling yourself to it. The Rashbi was the one that revealed the deeper aspects of the Torah. Pnimius Torah, it's called Chassidus, it's called Kabbalah, it's called the Zohar, whatever you want to call it. The secrets and the depths of the Torah. What is that? Well, first of all, it's the idea of understanding that there's a Nefesh Bahamas. Before Chassidus, who understood there was a Nefesh Bahamas? Who understood the playing field of what we're working with over here? Nobody. Chassidus was, I'm going to give you a glimpse on the other side of creation. What's really happening here. I'm going to give you a better playing field when it comes to this whole game. I'm going to give you the keys. And if you learn Chassidus, that is the food for your animal soul. That's what the animal soul is ultimately craving. So you come and you see that the happiest day of the whole Sphira is Lag BaOmer. Why? Because the pnimius of it all, it's not about Matan Torah. It's about pnimius Matan Torah. Because within the world, what we have access to when we learn Chassidus is humility. What the animal needs is, you see, when I'm going berserk in life, what happens when I'm going berserk in life and I'm triggered? What do I really need in that moment? What do I need when my kid is driving me nuts, or my wife is whatever, or this guy's telling me off? I'm feeling the need to go for that cigarette, or I'm feeling the need to go crazy and just slaughter an entire village, or whatever you do. What do I need in that moment? I need to stop, take a deep breath, and trust the process of life that this is exactly where I need to be. What does that take to do that? It's called humility. Hoid Shebahoid means I accept and embrace the circumstance of my life, and I see that everything that is happening in the world, what Chassidus says, what everything is happening in the world is only one thing: God trying to have a relationship with me. That's what Pnimius Torah is. That's what the Pnimius of the world is. When the animal's going crazy, it's not going crazy because it wants to lose itself, or it really wants that physical addiction or attachment. It wants to feel safe again. It wants to feel okay. How can the animal feel safe again and okay? Trust the process of life. Who could teach the animal the trusting the process of life? Humility. And try it once. Some people call it surrender today. You know, you take some medicine or whatever, you surrender. Or people say surrender to your wife, surrender to the circumstance. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is saying, I don't have any control. God has control, and He wants me to be here, so shut up and be here right now.
I think the real word is embracing.
Yeah, embracing.
Not surrender. Surrender could be victim.
Yeah, that's why I said it's not the surrender.
You're embracing the circumstance with enthusiasm.
Taking it in and saying, here, embrace means I am exactly where I need to be right now.
Wow.
So my kid triggers me, I need to be here. Don't think you need to be some holy guy that your kid doesn't trigger you and your kid needs to just listen and shut up and follow the parts. That's not what kids need. They need you to show them that you're okay with whatever's going on. Be okay. How do you be okay? Surrender. Humble yourself. Embrace it. Take it in. Let it be. Don't think that you can't handle this. You thinking that you can't handle this situation is you are ultimately forgetting the dignity of who you are.
Wow.
The godly soul says, the animal soul says, look how big my problem is. This is insane. I got to go have a cigarette. Whatever it is. The godly soul says, look how big I am compared to this thing in front of me that's trying to take me away from who I am. We got to stop telling our problems, or God, how big our problems are, and start telling our problems how big our God is. That's the line. What that means is you come back to the dignity of who you are as a person. What takes you and allows you to be having the dignity of who you are? Yosef HaTzadik, he showed us, he was connected to his father. In that moment of he could have lost everything, that's when he became a tzaddik. Why? Because he stayed connected to his father. He had iskashrus, real iskashrus. He had iskashrus to the strongest message, that even in the deepest level of temptation, the lowest, and she was a very beautiful woman according to the Medrash. He even married her daughter. So what am I connected to? So Lag BaOmer is the day the inner light breaks through, because what's the inner light? Humility. The power to overcome any emotion is humility. The moment you try to control, and they say, Mayach shalit al halev, that's not real. Nobody can control their emotions by some random thought. Oh, this is great. You can't do that. It doesn't work. That's not what Mayach is. Mayach, the pnimius of Mayach, the pnimius of our actual cognitive faculties is humility. The ultimate idea of our cognitive faculties, it says, we have to go to a place of not needing to know anymore. I don't need to know right now. That's the tachlis of the moyach. When I go to a place of complete embracing and saying, this is exactly for me, called humility, called bittul, everything changes. So in order to enter the process of working on yourself by Sfiras HaOmer, we have to enter the process of bittul. And bittul means you got work to do. Stop running away from the work you do. You know what? You're afraid? Too bad you're afraid. You're going to be afraid for the rest of your life if you keep that crap up. Just let go. Humble yourself. We all got work to do. Everyone's got work to do. And that's what we want. Everyone there, I know people that are building these places in Karastir because they're trying to connect to Reb Shaila. Right? Reb Shaila's yurtzeit was just, and the reason they're trying to get close to the tzaddik. Why are they trying to get close? Because they want to humble themselves. They want to feel the truth of the world. Everyone wants that. So make more opportunities to connect to the things that are going to allow you to embody that and to experience that. Like, that's why you're all here. That's why you're here tonight. You're not here for fun and games. You're here for the truth. But we can do it together and enjoy it, because I'll tell you one thing. Vayichan Yisrael neged ahar means that the Jews came together with one heart, because you do it together. It wasn't one guy receiving the Torah and then trying to convince everyone else. Everyone was there. The greatest revelations happen with brothers. When you're going through a hard time, you lose a parent, I know that thing, then you got to go and do Kaddish with a minion. Not by yourself. You can't do your healing in isolation. You got to do it with a minion. You got to go, face the people, get embraced by your brothers, even though they're bothering you and you don't feel it. And some guy's saying amen in funny ways, and whatever's happening in your own shul. The bottom line is we all come because we love each other. We want to be in connection. So we got to do this as brothers. There's no other way to do this. I'm telling you right now, the Mitzvah Rebbe says, the famous quote, he says that two Jews are in a room together, and you have two animal souls, two godly souls working on one animal soul. When you come to someone with your problem, he says, Dargas belev ish yaschenu le'acherim, which means when you have worries on your heart, you go and you reveal them to others. Because it's two godly souls versus one animal soul. Oh, why is it two godly souls versus one animal soul? Why not two versus two? Because each animal soul is out for itself. It's not interested in its fellow. That's what separates us. The heart separates us. So I have to go to a place of godliness and recognizing that this person is not my enemy. You're my brother, and you're showing me how to love more. If it's harder to love you, you're showing me how to love more. You're showing me how to expand my heart. And you trust the process. You trust that you're at this shul. Is this where you need to be? It's the best shul on earth. The best bunch of guys on earth. And you know what? So what? Carney schmarney. We're going to get through this, guys. We're going to get through this. We can do this. Nothing's going to make us run away. But if we do decide to go somewhere else, we're going to do it together. We're going to move to a different community together because we're brothers. Appreciate your brothers at the table. So let's put on the headsets because I think we need a little meditation for this one. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. We're going to just go into a final meditation. I know it's late for some of you guys, but this is where the magic happens as you go into a sleepy, meditative state and you listen to me. You have big breakthroughs in your life. Because the truth is that...
Go to the camera. Yeah, go, for sure.
The truth is like this. Here's the truth. There's a bunch of men around you at this table. Just close your eyes and feel that. And we all have a different life. Everyone's got their problems, their challenges, their peckles. Let's call it the life that God gave you. The parents, siblings, the financial situation. And some of you got married. And now you have your own peckle in front of you. This is your family. Your wife. Your kids. And we're all different in what we have. But let's separate from our animal souls for a second and recognize that we're also all the same. We're all connected. Can you feel that? I want you to feel the presence of the men around this table without opening your eyes, just feeling around you the presence of all these men. And be able to see without opening your eyes, with your eyes closed, see their soul. And the way you see their soul is you see your soul. You don't see faces. You don't see roles and labels. This guy's an accountant. That guy's a coach. This guy's a contractor. This guy does this, blah, blah, blah. But you just see souls. Each one here, just like you. Trying to navigate life. Each one carrying stories, strength, pain, love. And bring your attention to your heart. Maybe you put your hand on your heart if it helps. And notice if there's anything hard or closed. Is your heart open or closed? You don't need to fix it. You just need to notice. You just need to pay attention. And gently breathe into that space. And as you're breathing into that space, imagine your heart softening. And in the center of your heart, imagine a candle. And that's your light. Right there. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine that that light in the center of your heart grows with each breath. You know, like when you blow into a fire, the fire gets bigger. Well, when you breathe in, your fire gets bigger. Make your fire bigger. The heart. And I was recently telling a friend, sometimes we have like a flower. It's covered in ice. And you want to get the flower out to see it. You could try to take a big fire and get it out, but you might end up burning the petals instead. You just got to bring some light to it, some sunlight. So imagine your heart is opening up to more light. It's not about making myself go there, but real presence over here. Now picture each man at this table one by one, each with their own struggle. Each one is looking for something real. That's why you came here. Each one wants to be seen without judgment. And just feel your love for them. Feel that everyone in this room needs love. Not the kind of love that has to be loud, but that quiet, steady one that says, I got you. I see you. I respect you, brother. And I want you to just pause and breathe into that. Take that in. Let that sink into your heart. Everyone in this room needs that, including myself. And let that energy fill the space between you. Like, what if anyone you can imagine, you don't have your heart connected to them? What if you could just feel that? Like your heart is open to their heart. What if you could just feel that for a moment? Think of someone in your life that you're not loving at the moment. Maybe you lent them money and they're bothering you. Maybe it's your wife. Maybe it's an old business partner. Maybe it's someone who you used to work for. Whatever it is. Maybe it's a parent. And imagine that your heart could be wide open for them, just for a moment. Imagine this table in front of you right now that you're sitting at is a holy place. It's a place that takes you back to your heart. A place where the masks come off. A place where you can breathe. Maybe you can cry if you need to. You can be real. Feel the safety here. Feel that love that doesn't have to be earned. It's right here, just waiting to be taken in. Real freedom coming out of Mitzrayim is about being okay with everything and knowing what you're connected to, because that's who you really are. And it takes a good buddy to remind you. So here we are as a bunch of men. When you need help, ask for it. You don't need to do this alone. Hashem made others for you. Bishvili nivra ha'olam. The whole world was created for you. So start using it. of all the judgments you have on everyone else. It's BS anyways. You know it. You know greater than anyone